Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Davia Chambers, coming to you from downtown Scarborough at the rooftop of Smithfield Plaza. It is our vantage point for today's episode in the island's capital for the many events and activities taking place in beautiful Tobago. And as we do every week, as we get you updated on the major stories in the next half hour, all you've got to do is relax and we'll fill you in on all the details, starting of course with this week's headlines. Tobago gears up for the Trade and Investment Convention, the first Diamond Jubilee Bandstand Concert Series hosted by Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, was held right here in Tobago. The Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, TADCO, is being innovative in finding ways to provide support to their stakeholders, and later, outgoing Chief Executive Officer Mr. Louis Lewis goes out in style. We have these stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago returns, so stay with us.
Whoa, welcome to paradise. You will feel so nice in Tobago. This party island, we rise it strong like white brown boy. Party sweet on the road, from your reach you go know. It's back and non-stop, this song go leave we and come back boy. Party sweet on the road, from your reach you go know. Come join the Onion Band.
This year's Trade and Investment Convention is taking place at the Center of Excellence, Mokoya, Trinidad, from the 25th to the 27th of August. There's a lot of preparation, but businesses and THA companies are gearing up for what will be an exciting three-day event filled with exhibitions, business-to-business meetings, and seminars. Omadara Mills and cameraman Isaac James met up with one of the Tobago-based businesses going to the event to get their take. They also had a chat with one of the THA organizers to get the Assembly's perspective. Take a look.
We have from the red mangoes, all the preservatives, the plums, the cherries, whatever fruit is in season. We have farine, we have the sugar cake, the ginger nut cake, the caramel nut cake, the bene balls, the bene sticks. We also have the fudge, tum-tums, coconut fudge. We actually started off with the coconut fudge only. And we also have the chip, so all the indigenous sweets, we made them. This is the first time Tum-Tum's Local Confectionery has the opportunity to be a part of the TIC initiative, and we are indeed grateful. I would not be present, but my husband, who is the operations manager of this business, he will be there. We see it as an effort to market network beyond Tobago, so not only will we have the customer to business networking happening, but the business to business, and we are indeed grateful.
You have the small businesses that will fall under the banner of the Business Development Unit or the Strategic Business Development Unit, which I'm a part of. So you have Osani Designs, Avian Thomas. You have Edward Jones doing the support brand, JMac Industries. You also have Shanice Prince from Tom Tom's Confectionery. So you'll have local sweets presented in a way that can go to external markets in this particular TIC. You'll also have Carlin Kennedy of Kennedy's Agro Processing. You'll have Tobago Media Concepts, Karen Duke, as well. You'll have Savor the Isle Juices from Mr. Keston Pope. This is actually the first year that a concerted effort is being made to feature some of the entities that fall under the banner of the Tobago House of Assembly. So in that regard, we have the Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, TADCO. We also have the Tobago Performing Arts Company, TPAC. We have presentations as well from Shore Park Complex. We have the Tobago Festivals Commission. I'll also include TTAL, the Tobago Tourism Authority Limited, who are in collaboration with the Festivals Commission as well as Tobago Information Technology Limited, which will be in the Tobago space at TIC. We have Studley Park Enterprises, and that's really key for us because Studley Park is a key asset in the Tobago space, and they have the potential to bring in direct foreign exchange into the island. I think we're looking to do it bigger and bolder. I think under the theme of Invest, Connect, Activate, Elevate, we are looking to position Tobago as not just a participant, but somebody that needs to be engaged continually. So TIC presents that platform where we can showcase the potential of Tobago and be in a position that says, let's at least start the dialogue. So that coming out of TIC, we expect to see distribution deals for TADCO, for example. They have already had partnerships with Novo Farms, and you'll see an elevation of that coming out of TIC. As well, we would look for business deals for Studley Park Enterprises. We expect to see greater engagements for Shore Park Complex in terms of the conference space, as well for the smaller entities. Because we've continued our participation in the past, we expect a continuation of business deals coming out for them. So they typically leave TIC, coming out of TIC, they have contracts to provide supplies to different retail spaces.
The Caribbean Broadcasting Union is a not-for-profit association of public service and commercial broadcasters in the Caribbean, reaching over 4.8 million people in the region. As a regional institution, it facilitates discussion and analysis that assist in policy formulation on major integration issues, and they recently hosted their AGM on the island of Tobago. In this report, we take you to the opening ceremony.
Welcome to the 53rd.
Tobago was home to the 53rd edition of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's annual General Assembly under the theme Media and Information Literacy. The opening ceremony of the conference highlighted the timeliness and importance of the theme.
The communication space is a co-created one, and the media sector has a critical role to play outside of being the instruments for others. The place of the indigenous media as a critical sector for society is one of the points for discussion with the CARICOM Secretary General.
In welcoming the audience, Chief Secretary Honorable Farley Augustine says the challenge currently lies with the way in which media practitioners remain relevant in a world that's vastly changing. As such, he says we have an opportunity to revisit the issue of ethics and how information is managed. He says the Caribbean diaspora now has the chance to advance the region's agenda.
We're now living in an age where information is at our fingertips. We live in an age where there are people who are not trained broadcasters who can get the news to us much faster than the traditional media practitioners. Your competition is every youth who has a Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, or Instagram account and a smartphone. You have an opportunity to tell our story the way we want our stories to be told. You have an opportunity to tell our stories in the most authentic manner and to broadcast across the length and breadth of this world truly who we are. What's the truth behind being a Caribbean man and a Caribbean woman?
According to Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, who gave the keynote address, journalists must focus, investigate, interpret, educate, and report on the development process of the country.
They must take ownership and be guardians. And given the Caribbean's history, they must be understanding and sympathetic to the realistic challenges of the fledgling development process which we experience. Most importantly, journalists must be able to do so without any government guidance or intervention. As such, they must cultivate and view their world with the so-called jeweler's eye.
And receiving the President's Award for 2022 was Sally Ann Wilson in recognition of her immense contribution to the Caribbean Broadcasting Union.
Prime Minister, I've been privileged to witness how important good journalism is to all of our lives. We underestimate the role that it plays at our peril. To many in power, strong, independent and accurate journalism is inconvenient, uncomfortable even. They must not deter you. At its best, it's the glue that holds our societies, our lives together.
Suriname's Fritz Pengel and Barbados's Gary Allen were also inducted into the Caribbean Media Hall of Fame for their outstanding contribution to the regional media sector. The opening ceremony was hosted at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Gulf Resort in collaboration with the Tobago House of Assembly. In honor of the 60th anniversary of Trinidad and Tobago's independence, Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, hosted for the first time on the island the Diamond Jubilee Bandstand Concert Series. Our camera crew was at the right place at the right time to catch this. Have a look. The sweet sounds of steel pan and music reverberated throughout Scarborough on Saturday in honor of the 60th anniversary of Trinidad and Tobago's independence. That's because the Diamond Jubilee Bandstand Concert Series, hosted by the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, ORTT, started off in Tobago at the bandstand at Scarborough Esplanade.
As we approached this Diamond Jubilee, we were thinking in the office, what can we do? What can we do that will include all the people of the nation, give access to everyone, whatever age, whatever class, people who are all patriots and citizens? What can bring them together? And as we were speaking to each other, those of us over 60, and I won't identify anyone but myself, we were talking about the concerts that used to be held in the bandstand at the front of President's house. And as the conversation went on, many of our younger members of staff not only had never been to any of the concerts, but they did not know that they ever existed. And so we said, bingo, that's what we can do.
Boasting of Tobago's scenic background for the first series of the concert, Chief Secretary Honorable Fali Augustine urged citizens to be patriotic.
Patriotism is about loving your country regardless of its faults. And yes, we do have some flaws and faults, but the love for our country should be unwavering. There are some things that go beyond the politics. There are some things that go beyond ethnicity and religion and all the other things that tend to divide us. But patriotism is that one thing that should allow us to live in harmony.
The concert featured live performances from our service bands. The concert series ends on September 4th, and all concerts are free to members of the public. Tobago Carnival 2022 is getting closer. On the other side of this break, you'll get a little snippet from the official launch. Stay with us. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back.
This is paradise, where the vibe's so nice. Say whoa, say whoa. Welcome to paradise, you will feel so nice in Tobago. Everybody shut up. Release it. Chop up. Release it. Chop up. Release it. Chop up. Release it.
Ritual, revelry, release. As traditional meets contemporary.
It is time for centering, as it were, to affirm our magnetism in the form of a unique carnival expression. It is indeed our time to center ourselves and declare our identifiably Tobagonian stamp on the global calendar of festival events. The October Carnival festivities will reveal hidden treasures of our cultural soul and reshape the Carnival experience as we know it. It will birth a new experience and a unique tourism product.
This species of mind garden, release, breathe. The streets renew itself. Release.
Give praise to rain. Give praise. Give praise to rain. Give praise.
We talk about that beautiful heritage woman. She becomes more beautiful, pregnant with potential. Do we know what that baby looks like? That baby is Carnival 2022. That baby is being born on October 28th to October 30th, 2022.
It's sweeter than honey, it's richer than money. It's a couple miles to his sister.
I thoroughly enjoyed the launch. I think that was very exciting, especially seeing T-Pack on stage once again. I enjoyed seeing the cultural and traditional aspects of Tobago, as well as the revelry and the lovely Carnival costumes that were there. So for Tobago Carnival, I'm expecting to see the same thing. I'm expecting to see a lot of outsiders come in to enjoy what we have. And hopefully it's an extension of Tobago Heritage Festival so that people can still experience what we have year long.
We have a collab coming up with Dynasty Events. Dynasty, who did paint in the summer. We have something called Revel Road. I won't say copy, but a Tobago version of Bacchanal Road coming on October the 23rd.
I expect Tobago's Carnival to be an overwhelming success. It's the first Carnival, and anything that is new there would be some problems, some teething problems, which would be quite obvious. But I see a lot of people in this space comparing to the Trinidad Carnival, which has been in existence for a very long time. And I think we just need to be patient and allow the festival to grow.
On the 22nd of October, we will be having a party called Hideout. It's at 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's pretty much the start of the Carnival week. So we are going to start off the Carnival weekend with a blast.
Unity is our strength in Tobago, so it's going to have to be our strength for Tobago Carnival in October too. But look out for Fog Angels. I don't want to give all you too much detail, but we have a big brand to look out for, international brands to look out for that I'm the designer for, and then my own personal elite section in Fog Angels, first time ever.
Arcadia is the band that we expect to put out a premium experience, and when we say premium, I mean the real Tobago experience, that a person must come, they can enjoy Tobago, enjoy what Tobago has to offer, quality of food, full works.
The fog is coming. The fog is coming.
Cause the Carnival sweet like Tobago, the condensed milk in the cocoa. All the girls they hot like Flambo and bad like Rambo. Right now they wind it down. Hey, the Carnival sweet like Tobago. Raise up on the seats. We are celebrating Carnival Tobago.
The Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, or TADCO, is working assiduously to achieve its objectives of being more profitable and providing support to its stakeholders. In this next story, we share with you two areas where the company is making headway. Listen up to this story.
We had two types of the catch, which one for export and one for the local market. So for the local market, we receive about just under 1,235 pounds, which was made up of dolphin, ocean guard, some small tuna, and we had some kingfish. And that is all in effort to assist the local entrepreneurs, the local fish agro processors, so that they are able to make their value-added product from the fish. Yes, and going forward, we will be supporting the school feeding program with the contractors who are involved in, so that the kids can have that local fish into their diet. We caught about 15 tuna, grade 1 and grade 2. The value came up to just under, I think it was about 14,000 US, and from the TT equivalent, it was about just under 19,000 TT that we made from the fish. The capital of paradise was down for 4.5 years, so we have to be very careful. We're not pushing it all the way as yet, because there's some little bugs that have to work out. Hopefully all these matters are already rectified, so the next trip we're going to go further and hopefully get the targets that we want. We are looking at the 20th for the vessel to go back out to sea, and she is going to be going further than normal. So we have to be very measured in how we do things. The entire crew is Tobagonian. It's a very young crew. In terms of the whole succession planning, we have identified some young guys there who could actually one day become the captain there, no? So they've actually gotten the experience. Some of them are certified and stuff, so we have to work closer with them in terms of their competence really to basically take over the operations.
We dealt with strictly persons who were interested in cassava to supplying tadpoles, so we had about 84 participants, and for 84 persons to come out at Shore Park on that day, it was well attended. That is to show the interest that these farmers have in supplying the company with cassava. Currently, all farmers are Tobagonians. We are trying, first of all, to build that farming capacity on the island first. We are not excluding outside of Tobago, but we want to start with farmers here first. They have acreage that they want to produce, and our idea is to help to secure or assist in securing food on the island. So we got to have farmers involved first. We had farmers being told or given an idea of our commodity supply program, so how they could get involved in the program, what are the elements of the program. We had also discussed on that day a mini primary production, showing them good production practices. So our processing manager was there who spoke about where the product, those raw material, what were the end products, whether we were having secondary products like mash or tertiary products like the waffles or farine or the cakes. So she spoke to that. So in the room, the farmers like, whoa, they see themselves being part of a story rather than I'm just supplying Tadco. They see themselves as this journey that Tadco is taking with them, and they could now go on the supermarket shelves and say, hey, that cassava came from my farm, you know. It was really, truly amazing. I think the comments came afterwards. Actually, during the consultation, persons who you think would be hard to convince, they were sold, literally said they were sold on the idea. As a matter of fact, on that day we had quite a number of persons doing the application form to supply Tadco. So it was really positive energy coming out of that.
Some of Tobago's young people got behind the scenes of the production of Let's Talk Tobago as part of the Teen Media and Me Vacation Camp. Here's how they spent their time with us.
Today with the information department was an exciting one. I learned with producing this Let's Talk Tobago that you don't stay in one place. Why, you may ask? It is to get different sights and views of the particular location that you are at. I enjoyed, and I definitely will want to come back.
Today was very exciting. It was fun. I would definitely want to come back and experience this again. I would definitely recommend having like a tour or like a field trip like this. And something I learned today was that they don't actually read it from the top of their heads. They use like a script and they use a prompter to like read from it.
For me, it was enjoyable because I got to roll the prompter and I also got to use the reflector.
So today was a very enjoyable day. They take multiple stories at different locations so they could also give free marketing to the location that they are at, and also to change the scenery up a little bit because we don't want to see the same thing over and over and over again.
So we have to take a break, but don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Whoa, welcome to paradise. You will feel so nice in Tobago. This party island, we vibes it strong like white rum, boy. Party sweet on the road. From your reach, you go know. It's bacchanal non-stop. This song go leave we and come back, boy. Party sweet on the road. From your reach, you go know. Come join the Konyan back.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. Now, the Caribbean Broadcasting Union Awards ceremony, which celebrates media excellence across the region, was recently held on the island. But one group in particular stood out, taking home 14 awards. Have a look.
The Caribbean Media Awards of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union was held recently. It was an evening to highlight the contributions of content creators, including videographers, song engineers, producers, directors, and social media content producers. Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation Tasha Boris says she's pleased that Tobago is hosting this year's event.
Tobago and its people are indeed elated to host the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 53rd annual general meeting. Our entire island and all that are present can agree that this forum is a marvelous working example of what regional integration, unity, and progress represents for us as a Caribbean people. I stand before you this evening as a proud product and testament of what Caribbean societies can produce, as an embodiment of drive, passion, and a commitment towards ensuring that Tobago represents itself boldly, creatively, and uniquely on the global stage, while contributing to the Caribbean experience that we all proudly attest to as being part of this region.
Speaking at the function, Mr. Gilbert Peterson, Chairman of the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, TTAT, is hoping that in the coming year, 2023, apprenticeship programs can be made available to encourage broadcast engineering students.
In 2020, we took the opportunity of the impending elections to also assist by putting on programs to assist the broadcast and telecommunication sector with topics such as covering an election campaign, election and the media, opinion polls and pollstering, election advertising, and code of ethical and political conduct. With our commitment to capacity building in the broadcasting sector, it's our intention to continue to do so. We hope that we are able in 2023 to give apprenticeship programs to encourage broadcast engineers, students to participate in that kind of training to assist the industry.
The RJR Gleaner Communications Group walked away with the most awards in television, print, and radio categories combined. The Caribbean Media Awards formed part of the CBU's annual General Assembly held in Tobago in partnership with the Tobago House of Assembly. I'm Kian Walker-Hazel for Let's Talk Tobago.
The board and the staff of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited held an appreciation luncheon for outgoing Chief Executive Officer Mr. Louis Lewis, who for the past 5 years was tasked to pilot a company to lead the redevelopment, marketing and repositioning of the island's tourism product. Juliet James tells us more.
It was a very difficult decision for me to make. I want to take the spotlight off of me because none of what we achieved, I could have done it by myself. And I had a very good team.
During Mr. Lewis's tenure, Tobago received several international awards. In 2020, Northeast Tobago received the UNESCO Man and the Biosphere designation. And in 2019, the Tobago Beyond Ordinary brand copped the World Travel Market Silver Award for Best National Tourism Award Campaign.
When you hear the Silver Award and you hear Tobago, up to today I can't tell you that I heard who won. I know now, but I did not hear, because to me that the show had ended. We won and they said it and they looked at us and we went and we collected something. So to me that was an endorsement.
The agency under Mr. Lewis has been instrumental in starting several initiatives to bolster Tobago's tourism industry.
Customer service training initiative that we are taking on as an island-wide initiative. There's no other island in the Caribbean who has taken it on at that scale, but it's moving quietly and it's moving slowly. We have a very excellent partnership with the THTI in putting that training together, and we have an international partner in uplifting service to make it happen.
The outgoing CEO hopes that Destination Tobago can capitalize on other major initiatives that would reposition the island's tourism sector.
I really would have liked to complete the digitization project. I think it's a point where creating impressions in the marketplace is what we do, and we've been able to create a lot, over 6 million on a monthly basis. But where the chain is broken is between creating the impression and closing a sale. And the closing a sale is the part where the private sector comes in, and we are not sufficiently digitized. People are moving to a platform, or are in a platform now, where they expect to pay by a credit card. They expect to be able to make contactless, close transactions, and we are not there yet.
The Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Assistant Secretary, Administrator and the staff of the division thanks Mr. Louis Lewis for his remarkable contribution to Tobago's tourism product and wish him great success for his next milestone. From the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, I'm Juliet James reporting for Let's Talk Tobago.
So we have come to the end of yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and enjoyable week, and reminding you to stay safe in the fight against COVID-19.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers. It is 7 a.m. and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Yes, it's a beautiful Monday morning as we continue to give God thanks for life. I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Natalie Seeley Richardson, sitting with Julian this morning and of course keeping you company as we start our Monday morning.
All right, welcome folks. I know I have to take the opportunity here. I know when I paused there for a moment to head on over, you all thought it was Rhea, that she was back already. No, remember I reminded you, Rhea is out on vacation for some days, so she's going to be back in early September. Morning to you, Rhea Richardson, George. Well, we got another Richardson in the house.
Yes.
So this is Natalie Richardson Seeley on set with us from this morning. Natalie, morning to you.
Good morning, Julian. I must say you look quite dapper this Monday morning. Although it's raining on the outside, you are keeping us hot on the inside.
Thank you so much, Natalie. And this morning, let me take the opportunity immediately to indicate, outfitted by one of our sponsors here on board, Checkpoint. And that's Checkpoint located at Upper Main Street in Scarborough. That's 639-5148. So remember to connect with Checkpoint. Checkpoint. All right, viewers. Natalie, how has the weekend been for you?
Well, actually, I came back to Tobago this morning from Trinidad. But of course, you know, I'm keeping abreast of what's happening on our beautiful island. I know that Saturday, the big event was Great Race. And we had the results coming in. And I think one of our Tobago boats, I'm not 100% sure, and of course I know our viewers are always quite up to date, so you can put it in the chat, may have won one of the categories. And I think people were really excited to be back out. Of course, you know, we're still always excited that we can come outside for events now after being on a lockdown for so long. And the excitement is still there anytime you hear something advertised. So people came out.
I saw a lot of persons taking the time out, and, you know, always an interesting development to enjoy the festivities.
Yes.
In fact, the day prior, on the Friday, you know, notwithstanding the fact that there were challenges in relation to the weather, and I don't know if I missed the reports, I missed the you know, one of those weather alerts, but it would have appeared.
No, I know.
It would have appeared that I missed it in terms of the heavy weather. And
I think a lot of people were asking what was going on in Tobago.
Where was the alert? But notwithstanding that, I remember coming up on the highway and I'm seeing this long trailer vehicle as part of the promo activities for the Great Race which took place over the weekend.
Right.
And a number of vehicles and persons. I know a lot of friends and colleagues who came across for the weekend.
Yes.
So in terms of a very interesting activity and the turnout as well. Wow. Beautiful indeed. And then that would have transitioned into yesterday's activities taking place up at Castara.
Yes.
And I'm always impressed with the fact that the Castara Association, you know, formed by people from Castara, making a difference for Castara, and, you know, getting their startup, and they are primarily driven by their very own resources within the community, as they're not reliant on the Tobago House of
and that is quite instrumental, I think, Julian, because I think too often many of our community groups, and nothing is wrong if you're now starting off to get that support, but I think they rely on everyone else to give them the money to carry out projects. And they don't realize as they grow, they really have to see about funding themselves and being creative. You know, as you mentioned, Fisherman in Castara yesterday, and the activities, even their leg of the heritage contribution. It was awesome.
Beautiful.
You know, so, and of course, you know, when you go north side, you must enjoy the view as well.
You have to. And then there's the whole mark of Carnival happening in this space. I feel as though every hour, every day, every half day I turn on social media, there is a new activity, a new event being launched for October October of 2022. And, you know, it's an indication in terms of a number of the private sector entities also getting on board. Wow, we're in for a very interesting October. I am really looking forward to all those entities making their submissions so that we can really find all this information in one calendar at the end of the day. And, you know, the website would have been launched by the Tobago Carnival entity, Welcome Tobago. So we look forward to getting more information as we go along, and we head on into what is expected to be a full month's celebration of activities. But viewers, before we go any further this morning, we want to head on over to news in 90 seconds with Candice.
Thank you, Julian and Natalie. And here is your news in 90 seconds for Monday, 22nd August 2022. The Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development is warning Tobagonians against fraudulent people posing as officers from the division. According to a press release, people claiming to be officers from the division are soliciting business with members of the public outside of the office. The division warns officers are not authorized to treat with the public out of office, nor are they to require cash or check payments. Instead, all financial transactions must be conducted through the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy. Meanwhile, the Scarborough Fire Station is 98% complete. 3 years ago, a fire destroyed part of the Scarborough Fire Station, rendering it unusable. Since then, a temporary station was set up in Carnival, while some officers were sent to stations around the island. Retired Chief Fire Officer David Thomas explained that installation of the air conditioning system is one of the final things to complete on the Scarborough Fire Station. Other things awaiting completion are electrical works and painting. According to Officer Thomas, once the necessary equipment has been delivered, the project can be finished within a few weeks' time. Now, nationally, according to opposition MP Ravi Rataram, the agriculture sector in Trinidad and Tobago will fail if pre-dawn larceny is not controlled. He spoke yesterday at a press conference which addressed the current Agri-Investment Forum and Expo taking place. At the Expo, Prime Minister Dr. Kate Rowley encouraged farmers to take advantage of opportunities and produce more. However, opposition MP Rataram said that pre-dawn larceny remains the biggest threat to the agriculture industry. He called on the government to treat the matter with urgency and put systems in place to protect farmers and their produce if they are indeed committed to food security in the country. And that was the news in 90 seconds, and it is back to you, Julian and Natalie.
Thank you so much, Candice. Natalie, you noticed that rain on the outside.
Yes.
Yeah, it appears to be a bit of a rainy morning.
So we continue from last week?
Yes, a bit of a rainy morning, but nothing like that Friday night in the Saturday morning weather.
Yeah, I had some friends on vacation here, and you know, I saw her posting, is there a hurricane someone didn't tell us about? And in Trinidad, though, where I stayed in South, and we had hot sun. So when I kept abreast what's going on social media, I was like, wow, that is something else.
Indeed, indeed.
So Julian, it's a new day, and I think we have some celebrants.
Yes, so we're heading on into birthday celebrations. And we start up on our birthday celebration lineup.
Happy birthday to Ricardo Roberts. We hope that you have an awesome day, Ricardo.
And that's Ricardo out there in Barbados.
Yes.
All right, our very own Assemblyman Sonny Craig sending birthday shout-outs, and I know he would have been celebrating over the weekend, and something tells me he's still in celebration mode. Assemblyman Sonny Craig, wishing you a happy birthday.
Also celebrating yesterday is Arlene Messiah. Of course, no stranger to us here in Tobago, no stranger to us here in Tobago Updates. And we really wish Arlene a beautiful day. And I guess, you know, how we do it, I'm sure, again, the celebrations continue, you know.
Yes. And Arlene is into the photography world. Birthday blessings to you, Miss Messiah, Mrs. Messiah. And at this point, we send birthday shout-outs out to another person continuing to demonstrate youth excellence.
Yes.
Get familiar with the name if you don't already know it. It's Delano Jofield.
That's right.
And I want to send a happy birthday going out to Delano Jofield. A very excellent young man. I met him when he functioned as the youth presiding officer, the youth speaker of the Tobago Youth Assembly. So birthday shout-out applause going out to you, Delano Jofield.
And I had the opportunity also to see him grow while he was in secondary school, you know, and always very willing, very active student, participating and, you know, getting his schoolwork done. It's always interesting to see that balance in our young people, Julian.
He's a good one. He's a good one.
Yes.
And the reward for good work is more work.
More work.
All right. This is a feast that we know in terms of in the meteorology, you know, in the weather circle. And this is Bertrand Bikari. And I hope I got the pronunciation right.
Yes,
there.
yes. You did well.
Bertrand Bikari. Wishing you a happy, happy birthday coming out from the Tobago Updates family. And this is our lineup.
That's Miss Genevieve Campbell celebrating as well. You know, Genevieve looks as though she's taking the runway day.
I know.
Beautiful.
And if you know,
pride is even in the still.
I've known Genevieve for a number of years. And if you know Genevieve any at all, usually, you know, very much in the background. She's very frank.
Yes.
When she does make a statement, she's going to tell it like it is. But this was one of those opportunities. You caught her being dressed up. She prefers to be very much in her elements and in her comfort zone. A happy, happy birthday going out to you, Genevieve Campbell, this morning.
And we have Esther Superville. We are celebrating her birthday, a belated birthday at that. And, you know, again, we have so much to be thankful for, and we wish all our birthday celebrants, you know, just full of life. Keep enjoying.
Very much so. And just before we head into the rundown, viewers, I want to head on to the live this morning, because we see some birthday greetings also coming in from Shala Ramsey Roberts. And Shala is sending happy birthday to my sister, Sharifa Schaefer Ramsey. And I think that's Sharifa, my year group at Scarborough Secondary School. Much love and blessings. So this comes out from Shala Ramsey Roberts, wishing Sharifa a happy, happy birthday. And we also sending out our birthday greetings to you from the Tobago Updates family here. And we want to thank all of you joining us on the live. Hey, we've got a special guest on the live, folks. It's Rhea Richardson George. Good morning to you, Rhea.
Good morning, Rhea.
Tuned in out there. At least she isn't out too early this morning shopping. Enjoy your time out, Rhea.
She's always with us, huh?
Yes, very much so. And we want to thank each and every one of you we see on the live with us this morning. Hey, my family in the mix, Denise Phillips, Pearl Murray Beard connecting with us, Marilyn Spence Jofield, Keisha Bourne, Selma Lashley, and we want to connect. We want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you that continue to support the Tobago Updates morning show. It's Monday, the 22nd of August. Who do we have on the rundown this morning, Natalie?
Well, this morning we have Inspector Anderson Alfred. He's attached to the Sherburne Road Police Station of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. And, you know, it will be interesting to sit and have a chat with him. You know, we'll talk about things that have been happening in Tobago that we really don't want to see happen, you know, when he joins us this morning.
Yes, indeed, giving us some updates there. And this morning, we'll also be chatting with Cleon McPherson. And Cleon is the CEO and founder of Ari Promotion. And this morning, we'll be chatting about the 7th annual charity initiative. So we look forward to details connecting there with Cleon McPherson. And probably he's going to tell us a little bit about some Ari events also coming up as we're heading into the Tobago Carnival. Who knows?
And Julian, we have another Richardson who'll be joining us. So even if you want to get away from us today, you just can't do it, all right? So Shanari Richardson, and if you are from Tobago and even outside of Tobago, you would know that name. You know, he's into visual arts. You see him with these portraits of our local entertainers, even, you know, those abroad. And it's always amazing when you see his portraits, Julian. They are so lifelike. You know, and you know the talent is really there. So we'll be chatting with him about an event coming up. And viewers, I want you to stay tuned because you'll get to know more about how you can be a part of that event and enjoy this young man's work.
And very talented indeed.
Yes.
You know, most persons, I think, in the Tobago space, and you know, he has drawn a number. You have seen the artwork in relation to persons visiting the island. Impressive, and you know it's important for us to continue to encourage and support local.
Yes, definitely.
Support local. So viewers, we want to thank you so much for the continued love and support here this morning for the Tobago Updates morning show as we prepare to head on into our next interview. Just before we head into that first interview this morning, We want to give you a gentle reminder to thank all of you, those of you connecting with us via Gael, those of you connecting on M&E TV, those listeners on Smash Radio and Street 91.9 FM. Those of you connecting with us online, thank you so much. And this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Glorifying nonsense, yes. And I got my brains, and I'm pretty like my mom.
The Lambo Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited is pleased to invite all members to attend the 75th and 76th Annual General Meeting, guided for Thursday, the 25th of August, 2022. This will take place at the Tobago Food and Nutrition Cooperative Society, Canaan, Tobago, starting at 5 p.m. Members will be invited to register from 4:15 p.m. sharp. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed, and you are invited to continue wearing a mask. At Lambo Credit Union, we are always here for you.
Tell us about your organization, institution, when established, organizational structure. What are your organization's cause, mission, objectives? Please provide us with your organization's website, email, or social media handle. Does your organization have a bank account with a financial institution in Tobago? If so, please provide us the name of the financial institution. What is your role within the organization? How do we contact you? In 100 words or less, please tell us a bit about your organization's good work and why a donation from team might help. If your organization is selected to receive a donation from team, how will the funds be utilized? How will the community or constituency served by your organization benefit from a team donation? How would the donation from team be publicly acknowledged or advertised?
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your lights can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back. It's 7:20 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. And yes, this morning we want to take time out to ensure that I recognize our sponsors on board. I'm outfitted this morning by Checkpoint, and that's Checkpoint located at Upper Main Street in Scarborough, 639-5148. Remember to Checkpoint. All right, viewers, and we have a bit of some sad news this morning. On this picture should be coming up on screen. This morning, we are sending out our condolences to the family of the late Stella Moses, and sending out in loving memory of Stella Moses. And the announcement is being made here regarding the passing of Stella Moses, first manager of the Lambo Credit Union Society Limited. A homegoing ceremony takes place on Friday, 26th August at 10 a.m. And they're also sending out appreciation for the invaluable contribution to the Tobago landscape. And this is, to the entire family, we send out condolences. This indeed must be a challenging time, and it's never the kind of announcements that we want to make any at all in the mix. But this is in the midst of life. There is that, and so today we send out condolences to the entire family of the late Stella Moses.
And Julian, for those who may be interested in attending that homegoing service, you mentioned the date, but the location is the Lambo Church of God. All right, so those of you who are interested in paying respects to that family and providing support, it will be 10 a.m. Friday, 26th of August. So that's Friday, the 26th of August, 10 a.m. at the Lambo Church of God.
All right, and just before we continue this morning, we also would like to highlight we've got a major forum coming up, folks, and that's Invest Tobago, and the Caribbean Diaspora Investment Forum, Invest Tobago, and that's a town hall meeting. Yes, we're speaking Tobago, but the meeting is happening at the Brooklyn Museum. And it's happening in New York. And this is going to be taking place. The meeting will be hosted by, featuring Assemblyman Watson Solomon Duke, Deputy Chief Secretary. And it takes place today, Monday, the 22nd of August, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. But have no fear, we will be carrying the meeting live. Tobago Updates will be carrying this meeting live, so we all get an opportunity to tune in wherever you may be. So remember, this evening from 6 p.m., Tobago Updates will be carrying live this Invest Tobago Town Hall meeting that takes place in the United States out there in Brooklyn with the Tobago Diaspora. A very interesting development,
yes.
Natalie.
And also bringing remarks at that meeting, Julian, is Dr. Jimmy Toussé, who is the person in charge or spearheads the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission. And of course, whenever people get together, you must have a little entertainment. And we see that Lord Nelson is spearheading the entertainment at that function this evening.
And certainly something to look forward to there in the mix. And Natalie, there was much concerns the last time around. There was a clipping coming out. When our Deputy Chief Secretary would have been out and indications as to what took place and so on. And I'm very happy that we have the opportunity this time around that we are able to carry the entire, we're going to be carrying the meeting live.
Yes.
So it gives all the opportunity to be able to tune in and see and hear information in relation to how the Tobago House of Assembly and Tobago is being represented out there.
Yes.
Isn't technology beautiful,
Yes,
Natalie?
yes, first-hand information.
All right, this morning we also want to announce the Assembly Legislature. Remember, there would have been a few weeks ago we had representation on from the Assembly Legislature with the upcoming People's Gala. And more importantly, the special initiative where there would have been a competition for in commemoration of our 60th anniversary celebration for Trinidad and Tobago. 60 individuals would have been selected, and this is courtesy the Assembly Legislature now being led by Presiding Officer Abby Taylor. The names have been selected, and you are encouraged to visit the Assembly Legislature's Facebook page, social media, to check out the 60 names listed of those persons identified. I've gone through the listing, and I see a wide cross-section of Tobago on the listing, and we therefore want to say congratulations. You now have this opportunity, and we look forward to hearing the outcome of this initiative and generally how persons feel about this occasion where it is there would have been a random draw. And in fact, attendance in these events are normally by invitation only. But under the circumstances now, it's still by invitation. But 60 additional persons now have an opportunity who would not normally
list it. And from a wide cross-sector. Yes, so Julian, at this time, viewers, we go to a break. And when we do come back, we will be sitting with our first guest. So stay tuned and share the live, share the live, share the live.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying with us this morning on Tobago Updates Morning Show. I am Natalie Seeley Richardson, and our first guest this morning is Inspector Anderson Alfred, attached to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service of the Sherburne Road. And good morning to you.
Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers.
Yes, and of course, you know, we are always happy to talk about Tobago and Tobago being a safe space, Inspector. Unfortunately, we have been having a lot of robberies, and you know, I want you to tell us a little more about that, of course, what's happening in the island as it relates to robberies, and then we can get into what can we do as Tobagonians to ensure that we remain, I don't want to say just safe, but maybe more aware, and what we can do to nip that in the bud.
Thank you very much. Well, firstly, it is our intent to make every place in Tobago, and by extension Trinidad and Tobago, a safe place. However, we have criminal elements that we must deal with. And in this regard, we look at the topic of robberies. Whether they be robberies that includes violence, which we categorize as robbery with violence, where the person immediately before or during the robbery or immediately after commits an act of violence on the victim. Or there may be robbery with aggravation, where a person who may be armed with an offensive weapon or being together with other persons commits an act of robbery. But we have by analysis and through our transformation initiative, we have delved into the arena of intelligence-led policing.
Right.
And that is where we move from reactive policing to preventative policing. And that's why we're here today, to inform the public that there are certain elements that leads up or that is ripe for the act of robbery to take place. We look at the perpetrator, his desire to commit such an offense, or his motivation to commit such an offense, and his ability to commit such an offense. And you, the individual, creating the opportunity for him to commit that offense.
Making it easy.
Easy, whether directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly.
Right.
So these are some of the issues that we want to send to the public to inform them, because it's part of our initiatives in the strategic goals to increase public awareness of crime, which is very important, and to increase public safety. So having said that, we now look at the opportunity, the aspect of where we provide the opportunity for that to happen. Nobody wants to be a victim of crime. However, by nature, by our culture, or by our behavior, by our activities, we may sometimes provide that desire within the criminal element to say, hey, there is an easy target.
Right. So what are some of the things that would make me an easy target?
By nature, human beings, we are creatures of habit. And also, especially in the Tobago climate, where it's relatively a safe culture to live in, and we take a lot of things for granted.
True.
Right. So, for example, you own a business place. If you enter into most groceries or shops, you observe where the cash register is located. So we are dealing with now the ergonomics of your business place.
Close to the door.
Close to the door. Right? So we try to do our, where we go to business places, our public awareness campaign. We make observations and we see things that a person could change. You know, you will not make it easy for a criminal to commit an offense. So he will think twice of the risk he has to take. So we are actually dealing with the aspect of ability in the criminal mind. So his ability to commit that crime is stymied by you taking action, by moving, for example, your cash register to a safer place other than right by the door. 2 steps and the perpetrator is upon you.
Right.
And also, by nature, business persons depositing large sums of cash. Or person advertising, I have $50,000 cash on me now. You know, people actually sometimes advertise their earnings, what they have. So it's personal adjustments you must make. Business people who normally go to the same bank at the same time to deposit every day, remember the criminal is looking for opportunity.
Right.
So he has the time to observe you. He has the time to learn your pattern. And therefore you become an easy target.
So we need to be more aware as citizens, as people in Tobago, change up our patterns a bit.
Constantly.
Yeah, and I know it might be hard for some of us because we are, as you said, we are creatures of habit. And I'm thinking of our senior citizens especially who may be more, routine, their schedule. So, it's that time of the month, pension, they get up a certain time, they have to leave home and be in the bank a certain time. So let's encourage each other, switch it up a bit, because we don't want to be that victim. What about locking up your vehicle? So I lock up everything. That's me, right? Maybe it's my Trinidad part of me.
Well done.
And my friends here would tease me, why are you locking up the vehicle and, or leave the door open? And I'm like, no, you can't, And again, some of our villages have that community spirit still. And if somebody going up the road, they leave the door open. Is that encouraged in this time?
No, it is not. Though we in Tobago and in the culture that we live in, we foster harmony and we foster trust to a certain level. But Tobago has changed. The populace of Tobago is not the same. The culture and upbringing in Tobagonians are not the same. So we're living in a time where persons are desperate. So as we are in the heritage season, certain heritage has to change. So when we look at taking things for granted that this will not happen because I've been doing this for many years, it only takes one opportunity. Again, the perpetrator, he looks at opportunity, he looks at the risk he has to take, and if it's easy for him or her to just open your car door and take your laptop and go away, that risk factor is very low, so he will take the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah, so we cannot take it for granted that this is the same Tobago. It has changed a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, and we have to be real about our current situation. It doesn't mean that here is not a beautiful place, but we have to be smart as we go about our daily business. I don't know if you have any statistics to provide for us in terms of where we are with this type of crime as opposed to previous years. And would you say that targets are more home-based or individuals as opposed to commercial businesses when you look at robberies?
Okay, I'll answer the last question first. Well, what we are seeing they're running in tandem. Right? Personally, because within recent time, we had this trend of persons being robbed as they stand to get transportation to where they're going. These perpetrators were targeting mostly women going to work or returning from work. They pose as legitimate, well, quote-unquote legitimate PH drivers.
Okay.
And where they take the persons into the vehicle, and along the way they announce a robbery.
Wow.
So it is, part of the fabric, society. They just take a P car to go where you want to go. You may see a male driver and a female front seat passenger and think it's safe. And this is the pattern that they were using. Well, I'm proud to say that we were able to stymie that, to bring it to a halt, and persons are before the court.
Good.
We have 100% solve rate of that type of robbery so far.
Right.
So what we are looking at, robbery has been one of our high volume offense. But we have, within this period of time, in comparison to last year, made tremendous headway in these type of robberies, type of offenses. So this came about because of rigorous policing and public relations with the public, as we are doing now.
And if I find myself in a situation, or any of our viewers, you spoke about robberies and some may be violent, others different. If it is I find myself maybe in a public place and I'm being held at gunpoint. And, you know, sometimes we go through these things in our minds, what we will do. But you're the expert here. What advice would you give us if we find ourselves, and I'm giving you two situations, one where we are held in that situation where the perpetrator has a weapon, whatever it is, or if it's just another robbery passing by, but we do not see a weapon involved from the perpetrator?
Okay, good. Your first scenario, the most important commodity that person has is their life. Self-preservation is the key to survival, and your life is precious and irreplaceable. So therefore, I will implore a person in that situation to comply with the person, especially if they're armed. Your life is important, your valuables and your treasures can be replaced, but you are irreplaceable. True. So therefore, give them what they ask for, but most importantly, you also make observations. You make observation of body structure, height, dress code, the accent, ethnicity, the speech, and everything that will help aid in identifying that person.
Any visible markings?
Any visible markings. I try as much as possible to make mental notes.
Right.
Because you will at some point be called upon to identify that person.
But that sounds kind of hard to do if I'm in a robbery and I have to, my brain mightn't be working as it should.
Yes, because remember you said it first. What, you run through the scenarios in your head. So what you do, everyone, you should say, should I be in a situation? What do I do?
Yes.
What do I do? You observe, you listen to his speech. Is that Tobago speaker or Trinidad speaker or a foreigner or some other country speaking? You listen to these, you use your five senses and you observe certain things and make those notes in your mind to identify this person or perpetrator. Because as the second scenario you spoke about, where a person is not armed and they come up to you and threaten you and say, hand over what you have. So within that space of time, you cannot take a chance to say, this person is not armed, I'm going to fight. I don't think you should.
Right.
You could never tell what they're carrying with them. Right? But you make your observations. If you are in a public place, you can make an alarm, because that is a risk factor that the perpetrator will take into consideration. Should I rob this person? This person will make a certain noise and everyone will notice that I'm robbing this person. So that in itself, you're making yourself a harder target and reducing the opportunity for that person to rob you.
You know, and our time is coming to an end, Inspector. I don't know what else you would like to share with our viewers, but I think it's so important, viewers, to really run through the scenario. We don't want it to happen to us, but I think it's always good to have a game plan, and really we have to just think about preservation of life. Yes, you work hard for the expensive phone, yes, the laptop, yes, but these things can be replaced, but you cannot.
Indeed, indeed. So my advice is to invest in your personal security, which is education. You educate yourself on these issues that is taking place. You look at your personal security, what do you have in place, which is your home, your vehicles, or your business place. And we must take the time to do that assessment, making yourself a harder target, reducing the ingredients for that person to commit that robbery offense. You reduce his opportunity, you make yourself less of a target, and his ability and his desire will come into question. If you remove any of those three elements, the aspect of committing a robbery, the perpetrator will think twice.
Right.
Definitely.
You know, and I want to thank you so much for your time, Inspector, and viewers. It's really about being aware of our surroundings and not creating an opportunity, as the inspector shared with us. Sometimes somebody might be walking by and it's just an opportunity they see.
That's it.
And decide to act upon it. So, and let us, you know, bring back some of the old-time days, the elements where we look out for each other. I know, Inspector, there are some villages still in Tobago. If I step in, the whole village will know an outsider is there, and they look out for each other. And I think if you may look at your statistics, maybe the robberies in those communities are not as high as others where everybody, you know, keeps their doors shut and you don't know who your next door neighbor is.
Yes, we encourage that. If you see something, say something.
Right, and very important. And just as we wrap up, because I know we have to end, in terms of, and I know this has always been a contentious issue in terms of reporting. So I live in Canaan and I'm a victim of a robbery in Moriah. You know, do I go to Moriah police station if I can report it right away, or do I have to go in my home jurisdiction and report it?
No, you don't. There is a policy called a one-door policy, where a person may make a report at any station, to any police officer they encounter at any time.
Okay.
It is our responsibility to have that investigation done expeditiously. However, the victim of a crime should not concern themselves whether they're in the right station, district, or if they're speaking to the right police officer. That is a thing of the past.
Right.
And it's something that we encourage that persons make a report to any police officer at any station at any time. And we will do what we have to do.
All right, thank you so much, Inspector Alfred, for spending time with us here on Tobago Updates Morning Show. And viewers, I know you listened well, so let's pull up our bootstraps and be aware of our surroundings. All right, so we want to thank you again, and we wish you and your colleagues all the best. I know the work is not easy, but you're on the front line trying to keep us safe, and we really appreciate that. All right, so at this time, we go to a break. And when we come back, we'll have some more information for you.
Face to face. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers. It's 7:43 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Viewers, as we head on into the next segment, we are chatting with Cleon McPherson, CEO and founder of Ari Promotions. And this morning we're speaking about the 7th annual charity initiative. Morning to you, Cleon.
Good morning. How are you doing?
And thank you so much for joining us on set this morning. Let's chat a little bit about Ari Promotions. Heading into this 7th annual charity initiative. I want you, taking you right back. Tell us about the inspiration and the objective behind the concept with the charity initiative, because we all know Ari Promotion in terms of events as well.
Yeah, so what we did, even after certain events that we already know that we wanted to contribute to the development of Tobago in some form or fashion. So we decided that we would target in terms of the younger generation, because we already know the younger generation is the future. And we realized that even within the Tobago space, there's a lot of individuals that are in need, that, it necessarily not only in need, but sometimes it could be unfortunate events, because we have assisted individuals over the years that, would have been affected by a fire or a domestic violence situation. So we always try to target not only persons in need, but in terms of unfortunate situations that may have happened. Recently over the years, what we started to do is also look at in terms of special needs students with autism and Down syndrome and that kind of thing.
So Cleon, I know that over the years, and this is one of the initiatives, folks, I'm very pleased with and proud of, and Cleon knew I would always give him that gentle reminder and commendations to the team, because I always put out a challenge there to those others in the entertainment industry. Let's see you giving back as a crucial opportunity. You You made a transition when it was required, as challenging as it would have been. How was that experience, and particularly the feedback of parents to date when you were going into the pandemics and recognized that we were now dealing with challenges in relation to technology? Tell us a little bit about that movement for ARI.
Even that transition at the end of the day was a bit difficult. One, that there was a period of time that there was generating income or having money where to buy these items, and business places as well would have been in a certain detriment as well. So even with that challenge from transitioning to the usual in terms of school bags, the books and that kind of thing, to now technological items, which as well is a little pricey.
Yes.
But we did it. We made the sacrifices and we did it. And to date, we have assisted over 600 students to date. And that is in terms of school bags, technological items, and not only that, but we also select in terms of various families, in terms of food hampers and that kind of thing. So not only school items as well, but we try to assist where be.
Is the giving and support of ARI promotions limited to this one time per year, or are you contacted over time by persons?
Yeah, I mean, we always, even throughout the year, we always assist throughout the year, and even little small initiatives where you might have a little football tournament or something within the village, we always try to give back in that regard. So it's not only limited to this aspect, but obviously with this annual initiative is always the bigger scheme of things.
Right. Tell us, how do persons make contact with you? Because I know, and I'm speaking here in terms of persons seeing this, hearing about it, and wanting to be able to contribute. Because as I made mention before, this is the major one that takes place.
Right.
But I know I have put on people to you, and people are usually contacting you in terms of seeking assistance.
Right.
But tell us about people who may want to make contact in terms of helping and donating as well.
Right. Well, I think my number is on the flyer, 7320764, so persons can contact me in relation to assisting in that regard. So we don't turn away anyone in that sense. Usually in terms of how we select, we usually partner in terms of with student services. So we have a list of individuals that of need in that sense. But as the time progress, we always have names coming in, and I'm a type of person I wouldn't turn away anyone, because it could be me. You never know when you could be in that position. So at the end of the day, I try my best as possible as to assist, even if it's after the event, because some individuals come even after the event knowing, and we try as best as possible to assist where
How many persons are in your target for this year, for the 7th annual charity initiative?
Well, basically we're looking at about 100 students in different forms, so not only within the range of just the school items, but in different aspects as well. We try to assist as well. So like last year we did, where we provided printers for the school for the challenge hearing impaired, and this year we're more targeting and focusing on the families itself, based on coming out of that COVID and the challenges persons face, some maybe out of work and that kind of thing.
I know you always like to speak about the fact, and I want you to share it with our viewers. They say you see Cleon McPherson, and I know you've said it before, this is not just about you. Tell us a little about the team in terms of the young and vibrant team supporting these kinds of initiatives.
Yeah, the team has always been there over the years. Other individuals have their roles, Mel, Mona, and these individuals now also have their separate businesses. So we always try to push within that element. Even Bevon has, a car wash thing or whatever. So even within ARI now, we always try to push even the team itself with their other business initiative that as well help out the community in that sense. So, some people just know their function, know their roles when it's time to be. That's just how things are. And, everyone, has their special contribution to making some tangible. It could be little, it could be big, it could be small. But everyone knows they're important in some way or form or fashion.
Do you think your patrons and supporters, those who are faithful to ARI in terms of events that take place, I know quite recently, you'd have also hosted Successful during the heritage period and so on.
Right.
Do you think your patrons now also come along knowing that when I fit in and I enjoyed myself,
yes,
I could look and say, are we doing good things too?
I know the afterthought in the parade or in the
not in the moment, but down the road when they're looking at it.
Maybe down the road, but not in the moment at all, because within that element is more festive and enjoying. Yes. But I think individuals know over the years, because this is 7th year, so definitely it's something very consistent and something that we have been doing over the years, not something that we just now started. So we already know in terms of our role within the Tobago space and within the development of Tobago in that regard, to assist where we could. If we are able to do it, if we are able to network, if we are able to reach certain persons, because at the end of the day, it's only so much whoever could do. And if we could make that small change or small difference, I think we're doing something in the right direction.
Definitely moving in the right direction. So we're going to pull up the photo on screen so that Cleon can remind us of the details in terms of when it's taking place this time around, contact information if persons can still reach out to you in these circumstances, hearing it this morning.
Yeah, so it is the 7th annual charity initiative. It would be at Shaw Park at 5 p.m. That's the 25th of August, sorry. And this is this Thursday at 5 p.m.
So this Thursday at 5 p.m. And I see we have some of your team members on screen. Who are some of those faces we are seeing there well masked?
Well, you'd have Kimmy, you'd have Mel, even have some of the camera guys like Cassell, Bevon, Bucky, some of these guys. Pimp as well is in Ladonna Alfred there, Trishelle Sterling. So yeah, it's a nice team. It's a gel team. We all work together in terms of bringing it off, and it's something that is very special.
Right, and as I said, people may see the team sometimes, and I always love that about the initiative, Cleon. We can fit together, we can have a good time, but at the same time, we can also come together in terms of giving back and to help those in society. What's your words of encouragement to others in the industry? Should it continue to just be about profit, or it's important to give back and help the less fortunate in society?
I believe it is important, because you have to remember, in terms of society, is a cycle. You could be on top for a certain amount of it. I mean, we've been blessed to be in the industry for, well, this year marks the 10th year within being in the industry. So it's something where that we even see within culture. I mean, long before it was calypso and it evolved to soca. So at the end of the day, if you know you're on the top, try to make that impact, try to contribute as best as possible, because we all have a time at the end of the day within society, and everything does not last forever.
All right, Cleon. I couldn't have you on at all with Agri Promotions. We saw a post go up, sneak peek to October 2022. Just give us a name now. Tell us something.
Nah, I can't tell you as yet. But definitely information will be out the 27th of October. So look out for that. Something very special. And the person's been trying to know what exactly it is, Even some of the members don't even know what it is, because, just based on that kind of title. But definitely it was something special. We always try to, give you that value for money for sure. And, once it's an RE event, you know what to expect in that regard.
And we could see you coming to Tobago Updates to launch that event for October.
We will try.
All right, viewers. We've had Cleon McPherson on here and speaking to RE Promotion and the 7th annual charity initiative. And I want to encourage you folks, those of you who have been blessed, and as I like to say, you may have a little extra, but every little goes a long way, and so it's important. And I too am also giving my public commitment to Cleon McPherson and RE Promotions to make a contribution towards the 7th annual charity initiative. It won't be the first time Cleon knows that I support this initiative, and therefore I'm making that public commitment. And I want to remind each and every one of you out there, whatever you may be able to give or to help out in this situation, this is your opportunity through RE Promotion as one of the entities doing good out there in the Tobago space. Contact Cleon McPherson and make that contribution. It can go a very long way to helping a child or student in need. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for the continued love and support, each and every one of you joining us on the live. And just to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Crazy, intelligently, singing rock back, shit. No sticks, no stones, or any kind of weapon don't belong here.
I don't wanna break
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Our national borders. Our first step to security. But a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, and if you are just joining out, you missed out a lot, but don't worry, you still have some stuff coming up, all right? And let me share the good stuff with you. Yes, it's rainy on the outside, but we are warm in the studio here at Tobago Updates, and we have some good stuff for you. Congratulations to Trinidad and Tobago international forward Asher James, and Asher is our very own right here from Tobago for being named LSC Preseason Offensive Player of the Year. Looks like James will have another season of fire at West Texas A&M University. And we continue to wish you all the best, Asha. Keep representing. And we have 2 birthday shout-outs. Our viewers would have sent these in. Jamai Williams of Pembroke, 14 years old today. Happy birthday. And that's coming from your mom and the rest of your family. Do enjoy. And coming from Archimas Thomas. Happy birthday to Tamaria Dillon in Charlottesville. All right, so Pembroke, Charlottesville celebrations going on. Happy birthday. Joining me now is director and visual artist of Shonari Richardson Art, right? Yes, I got it correct. And yes, another Richardson. So Rhea Richardson George, you are not here, but you do have Natalie Seeley Richardson and Shonari Richardson right here this morning. Well, representing you, Rhea. All right, so let's get into it. People are familiar with your work. There are some of people viewing maybe from outside of Trinidad, outside of Tobago, and they will get to know your work by the time we are done. And I have always admired your portraits of individuals. I find they are so real, you know, the one you did of T.I., Buju Banton, and I get so excited when I see the photos of you handing over. What got you into this?
Well, good morning to you, and good morning to the listening public. Well, I got into this basically, I always had a passion for art. My mom always tell me from the tender age of 2. Yes, I always give this story. Yeah, when I used to be picking up scraps something from the grandma because she's a seamstress by profession, and I always be picking up scraps and building houses and all sorts of different things. And like from there, the passion grew. Like from age 5, I took part in like small art competitions and stuff. Started winning and all these kind of things. Then after I generated into high school, right up to I did it for CXC. Then after I came and all that, and I actually was in the office of the Chief Secretary art competition. All these things was finalist in the 2 times I was there because I participated while I was at the 2 years at sixth form. Yes, I was finalist in the both of them, and I went on to university, got my bachelor's degree in visual arts as well.
Excellent.
After all that, yes, they took part in a couple art exhibitions while at it, and when everyone knows that I always be normally presenting portraits to different prominent persons in society.
Yes, and our viewers just had a snippet of some of your work, some of your portraits and work were on screen, and I know that they are in awe. But you are here to talk about Nostalgia, the art exhibition.
Yes.
All right, and it's on the 27th, Saturday the 27th.
Yes.
So tell us a little about that art exhibition.
Well, this art exhibition, Nostalgia, Diamond Jubilee through the Visual Lens. Right, this is to commemorate the 60th anniversary of our country's independence.
So this will be portraying artwork from 1962 right up to 2022, which this present date.
Right.
So I was just like, well, basically, a lot of people needs to know more about their culture and all of that. But in other words, it wouldn't just be a normal art exhibition where you just come into view. You have live performances, some of Tobago's top musicians, and also fancy hors d'oeuvres and cocktails and stuff from one of Tobago's international caterers.
Okay, so it's really about celebrating the arts and creativity of our people in whatever form it may come. You mentioned art from 1960 to present.
Yes.
Are there other artists involved who would have their work on display?
Well, no, this would be a solo exhibition. Well, this is my actual first solo exhibition, to be exact, because for many years, everybody been asking, when are you going to have your solo exhibition?
Yes.
And after I was like, this is the time. Yes.
And no other time but now. And of course, viewers, we need to support our young people. This is Shanari has developed this talent, and it's really phenomenal. And when you see good thing, you must stand by it, right? And this is his first exhibition, solo exhibition that is. And I saw that the name of it, A Diamond Jubilee Through the Visual Lens. Yes. So what really got you thinking about this, Shanari, and really wanting to do this?
Well, I always, who knows me personally, knows that I'm very passionate about nation building and all this kind of things there. Always, because I kind of grew up in a home where always hearing about politics and what's going wrong in the country and all them kind of things there. And I always develop this thing that if you don't know where you come from, you wouldn't know where you're going. And a lot of people that see things are wrong and don't know how things got there and all of that, and don't know the pioneers and all them things behind all these things that got there. So in other words, like within this exhibition, you'll also have the Prime Minister collection. That's giving you a few. I can't know everything.
Yes, you can't.
Yes, that's giving out a few. So you have a Prime Minister collection from like Eric Williams right up. Right. Then after you have the TSEC collection from A&R Robinson right up. Because the reality is, a lot of people like within my generation don't know how Jeff Davidson, and Oxy Nunuk. Because when you look them up on Wikipedia, you look it up, they can't even find a Wikipedia page with them properly.
Quite true. And it's very good to hear this coming from you, that because you can encourage your generation. And I know that they would listen to you rather than an older person coming and talk down to them. Tell us how we can be a part of viewers, those who want to be a part of this exhibition. How can we be a part of it?
Well, right. So it will be at the Shore Park Cultural Complex. It will be the same day as the lighting up of the complex as well.
Okay.
So it will be from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Right. So within that time frame, you'll have a short interval where everybody will be there to witness the lighting up of the complex as well. So you're basically in for a treat, and cost is 200 TT. Well, you can reach me at 716. 7036, 716-7036, or you can find me via Facebook, Shanari Richardson Art, Instagram Shanari Richardson Art as well. Yes, and you'll be able to get the information from there.
Right. So viewers, only $200, and let me say it like Shanari. TT, all right, that is nothing for what you would experience that evening, and it's all happening at the Cultural Complex in Shore Park, August 27. That's a Saturday from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Come out and support this young man. You would have seen, I don't know if we can get more of his work on screen again, just to remind our viewers what they are in for, and really to support this venture. Again, it's nostalgia. It's about celebrating who we are as a people and celebrating our 60 years of independence. Now, you may have somebody who may be hesitant and say, well, why I should really spend my afternoon, looking at artwork? What would you tell them, Shanari?
Now, you see, the thing about artwork is, artwork is more than just a picture, because a picture can just go away and people forget about it. See, a painting, it lasts generations, like forever and all them things. Like even when you look at the Renaissance movements and all that, well, that's a kind of talking thing, but the Renaissance movement is like them paintings like Mona Lisa, and we call them kind of paintings last from the generation up to today and all them things.
And they are very recognizable.
Yes. And Yeah, those things that's a generation even more important than a picture. People will forget a picture, but they will never forget a painting, and a painting speaks 1,000 words more than a picture. They say a picture speaks 1,000 words, but I say a painting speaks 1,000 words.
Because the painting tells a story and it documents history. So again, August 27th, 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Please, let's come out and support Nostalgia, a diamond jubilee through the visual lens. And support Shonari, support the others who would be involved. And it's about celebrating our very own. $200, that's nothing. Some of you blow that just in lunch and not even cover your dinner bill. So this is for a good cause. Support him as he continues to grow. And he's always representing Tobago. So thank you so much for your time. And that number again, 716-7036. 716-7036. You can call that number and get more information about how to get your tickets. So we hope to see you there. All right, so at this time, we go out, come back in. So share the live, share the live, share the live.
No sticks, no stones, or any kind of weapon don't belong here. I don't want to break no bones. I just want a microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. It's been a beautiful morning, a lot of information coming to you. And this morning, yes, on set with us, joining us on set, for those of you that tuned in late, yes, it's Natalie Seeley Richardson. And every so often I mix up that Richardson Seeley there, but it's Natalie Seeley Richardson.
I'll make it easier for you. Just keep the Richardson. Yeah?
All right, we've had Natalie on, and Natalie's going to be here with us for some time into September as Ria is out on vacation. Natalie, how was this morning?
This morning was fine, and I'm always happy to be a part of the Tobago Updates family. You know, sometimes I do out of the studio assignments, and it's really awesome. You know, I just have to wake up a bit earlier, but hey, I love the Tobago Updates morning show family, so I will be here.
A beautiful morning indeed. And this morning we also want to put a gentle reminder. You know, we spoke to so many of the events happening, and one of those conversations we'll need to also have when we talk about Tobago Carnival, because it's something that the chief alluded to in terms of the industry that speaks to those who come across for camps and so on, and use that long weekend period. So we got to get some perspectives on that as well in the coming up discussions. But what's very clear, folks, whether you're coming to camp, whether you're coming for the festivities, whether you just want to get some time out in Tobago, Caribbean Airlines and the Port Authority, we continue to call on you and to encourage you. It's really, really important for the systems to work come October, and to work in such a manner where we can have the additional flights available, and we want to emphasize that and to stress that so much. If you make it difficult or continue to make it challenging or do not put additional arrangements in place, persons can't come to enjoy all the activities that will be taking place here. And as far as I recall, from my look and check with the information thus far, it's already a challenge, Natalie, to get flights. It's already a challenge to get flights. And I
mean, you know, this July-August vacation period, for me, it served as a kind of a test, because the demand for flights and even sailings, it's out of this world, and a lot of people who would like to be here just cannot, because they are not getting a sailing to accommodate them. And I'm not talking about trying last minute, because tickets were sold out, you know, quite some time ago. So it's something we really have to get these stakeholders to look at.
Indeed. And just before we head on out this morning, a quick shout out to those on the live with us this morning. I'm seeing another Richardson, Ingrid Richardson, is on the live with us this morning. This is a Richardson kind of morning.
Yeah.
All right. Ingrid Richardson is on the live with us. Avril Allen, morning to you. Sham from Melville, Andrew John Smith, Sophia Potts McCool, Akisi London, Leslie-Ann Ellis, Alicia Samuel, morning to each and every one of you, Natalie Kojo Nelson, and also folks, to those of you that sent in the commendations, I want to say thank you so much. Looking at the combination of the outfit, I'm not necessarily a lover of ties, but I decided to give it a try this morning. Yep, that would probably shock many of you to hear that I'm not a lover of wearing ties.
And you're wearing it fine, so you can try it again.
So thank you so much for the comments and encouragement. This morning's outfit courtesy Checkpoint, located at Upper Main Street in Scarborough. So again, it's been a beautiful morning, Natalie.
Yes.
And we look forward to you connecting with us, folks, continuing to connect with the Tobago Updates, a morning show. All right. And folks, we're saying bye for now, but we head straight on over to GMT with Candice. All right. Bye for now.
Bye.
Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We got beauty, we got power.
Good morning.
The Board of Directors of Lambo Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited is pleased to invite all members to attend the 75th and 76th Annual General Meeting guided for Thursday, the 25th of August, 2022. This will take place at the Tobago Food and Nutrition Cooperative Society, Canaan, Tobago, starting at 5 p.m. Members will be invited to register from 4:15 p.m. sharp. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed, and you are invited to continue wearing a mask. At Lambo Credit Union, we are always here for you.
Tell us about your organization, institution, when established, organizational structure. What are your organization's cause, mission, objectives? Please provide us with your organization's website, email, or social media handle. Does your organization have a bank account with a financial institution in Tobago? If so, please provide us the name of the financial institution. What is your role within the organization? How do we contact you? In 100 words or less, please tell us a bit about your organization's good work and why a donation from team might help. If your organization is selected to receive a donation from team, how will the funds be utilized? How will the community or constituency served by your organization benefit from a team donation? How would the donation from team be publicly acknowledged or advertised?
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region, with the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine. I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. The Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development is warning Tobagonians against fraudulent people posing as officers from the division. According to a press release, people claiming to be officers from the division are trying to conduct business with members of the public outside of the office. The division warns officers are not authorized to treat the public out of office, nor are they to require cash and check payments. Instead, all financial transactions must be conducted through the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy. Meanwhile, the Scarborough Fire Station is 98% complete. 3 years ago, a fire destroyed part of the Scarborough Fire Station, rendering it unusable. Since then, a temporary station was set up in Carnival, while some officers were sent to stations around the island. Retired Chief Fire Officer David Thomas explained that installation of the air conditioning system is one of the final things left to complete on the Scarborough station. Other things awaiting completion are electrical works and painting. According to Officer Thomas, once the necessary equipment has been delivered, the project will be finished in a couple weeks' time. And nationally, according to opposition MP Ravi Ratiram, the agriculture sector in Trinidad and Tobago will fail unless predatory larceny is controlled. He spoke yesterday at a press conference which addressed the current Agri-Investment Forum and Expo taking place. At the Expo, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley encouraged farmers to take advantage of opportunities and produce more. However, opposition MP Ratiram said that predatory larceny remains the biggest threat to the agriculture industry. He called on the government to treat the matter with urgency and put systems in place to protect farmers and their produce if they are indeed committed to food security in the country. And that was the news in 90 seconds. And well, viewers, you know, We've had some interesting stories develop over the weekend, especially coming out of Trinidad where children are concerned. And to speak to us on some of these matters, especially when it comes to depression in children and adolescents, and we have Mr. Hanif Benjamin, and of course he is a child clinical therapist who, is an expert, a lovely expert, one of our favorite guests here on the show. So a special good morning and welcome to you, sir.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. It is indeed a pleasure to always be here with you to delineate some of these difficult conversations.
All right, so one of the things that we don't really think about is that children and adolescents go through depression. And it's easily looked over, and you're like, you know, what a child could be worried about, what a child could be depressed about. You know, they have a happy life. They have no concerns, no responsibilities. They have nothing to be depressed about. But of course, you know that that's not true. So I just want you to give a perspective of some of the things that children can face when it comes to depression.
Well, definitely depression and anxiety and all mental health challenges traverse the entire lifespan. So the belief that a child cannot be living with depression is furthest from the truth. And I think it is on that premise where the problem really stems. Because the World Health Organization said 4 in 5 persons would face depression at some point in their life. Now, what is interesting is if we hold true to those beliefs that you opened with, then what we have happening is children suffering with depression and other types of illnesses that they are not being treated for, and or they are being treated for it from a punitive perspective. Because what depression may look like in a child or adolescent is a lazy child, a child who don't want to get out of bed, who don't want to brush their teeth or bathe, who don't want to engage in anything at home or with their loved ones. And so a parent who is unsuspecting that that child might be living with a depression might see that child as lazy, get up, you know, make up your bed, open the window, do that, as opposed to something is going on, and this requires a level of intervention. Too many of our children, as we speak today, living with depression and or other mental illnesses, but because we do not understand, because we don't know what it looks like, It passes over the head, and then our parent or guardian treats it from a punitive perspective, where the child now is being punished for things they have no control. And as a result of that, we push our children further and further away, where they feel as if no one is listening to them, no one is helping me, no one is guiding me. And once that happens, we are losing our children. And in some respect, we may have lost some.
Yes. So you've mentioned that, sometimes the child might be sleeping too much, or like not bathing, not wanting to bathe, not wanting to brush your teeth, not wanting to do things that should be considered normal. So when a parent notices that in a child, what should be their reaction?
Well, the first thing is, let us not create an environment that makes the child feel fearful. We must create a safe environment where our children can come to mom, come to dad, come to grandma, come to big brother, big sister and say, I don't feel well and I'm not sure why I don't feel well. Because a lot of times with depression and stuff like that, you don't understand why you are feeling the way you are feeling. All you know is that I am not able to do what I'm supposed to do. So the first thing a parent, or what I call the environment, the social environment, should inculcate is creating a safe environment where that child or adolescent can come forward and say, I feel this way. Once we are able to establish that level of communication, then we allow the child a voice to say what they feel, how they feel, without judgment, without feeling as if I say I'm going to get licks or something like that. And once we begin to do that, the parents should then take it upon themselves to seek help for that child, so that that child could talk to somebody. Most times children don't want to talk to their parents because of the way the parent or guardian may treat the subject matter. And sometimes, Candice, the parent may not want to treat the subject matter because they themselves might be going through the same thing.
Yes.
They might not even be emotionally available to help that child. They may not understand, and because they do not understand, they don't know what to say or how to say it. And because of that, they either shy away from the conversation or they take a punitive approach. Sometimes unsuspectingly though, you see, they may not even recognize that I am taking a punitive approach, but it is a defense mechanism. So one of the things we must do, that is why at the Center for Human Development, I make myself available to these kind of conversation, is because if we could get into the home of one person, a family, where they can hear this and say, well, I see my child withdrawn. I see my child sleeping too much. I see my child not talking to people. I see my child not playing the video game like he or she used to. Something might be going on. And then put your child sitting and say, let me talk to you. So we need to educate in the first instance. And the education for mental health, and because I'm calling mental health, and I think it was on this very station, whether or not it's the new pandemic.
Yes.
And we are seeing more and more tragic situation dealing with mental health. And as a result of that, we are seeing the degradation of our families. And until we get on top of mental health through a sustained education campaign from primary school all the way up in our villages, our communities, to help people to understand some of the common diagnoses. And above all, create spaces where if people feel as if they are going through something or they don't know what to say to their son or daughter, they can come or turn to somebody and get that help that they need.
And then sometimes it's the parents themselves that need help, because I think we had a situation over this weekend where unfortunately a child died, and of course there's still some investigations going around it, but there was an article this morning in the Trinidad Express that spoke to neighbors noticing that there was something wrong with the parents, that 3 months before the parents started exhibiting, was not acting normal, and she stopped caring in the way that she normally would. And, one thing led to the next, and we had that unfortunate situation happening over the weekend. So I want to know now, in situations like that, let's first talk about the parent themselves. Because the parents themselves might not even know how to deal with that situation, how to deal with that depression and that mental challenge that they're having, to be that good parent for that child.
And so earlier when I point out that a parent may not be emotionally available, that is what I mean. Because a parent or guardian might be going through their own difficulties, and one may not have recognized that they're going through a difficulty, or recognize but do not have the bandwidth to extend to even their loved ones. That is a real thing. And sometimes people say, how you could do that to your own child or your husband or your wife? The fact is, when you are living with a mental illness, the struggle to even do the basic thing is real. To get up and brush your teeth, to prepare a meal, that is a real. And until we start to recognize it as real, we will not put the mechanism in place to treat with it as an emergency. Too often in this country, we have to get to the point of no return for an action to be taken, and then we have to, well, we should or we could or we would have. But in actuality, these things are very much present in front of us. There are always signs and symptoms. For us, we don't pay attention to the signs and symptoms because we are too busy going about our own lives. And when we do recognize the signs and symptoms, one, people don't know where to go to for help. Two, if they do call the people, they're not getting the response that they should get. So the systemic issues continue to keep mental health where it is. A big secret that causes tragedy once it is not addressed in a timely manner.
And then that also speaks another conversation in terms of what us as a community, because the truth is that a lot of people just don't know how to deal with their challenges. And it does have, as you said, a tragic effect on our children. So then as a community now, how do we come together and support each other? How do we address persons that are exhibiting those symptoms?
Stop laughing at people. Stop laughing at people. Stop telling them, you know, she mad. You know, he mad. You know, yes, he behaving like he on crack. Stop it. If we truly want to care for our fellow colleagues, our neighbors, our loved one, let us normalize mental health challenges. Let us normalize. You see, we see a man on a wheelchair, we want to run out to help him to the car. We see somebody on a crutch, you see somebody with a bandage. We move into a more sympathetic, empathetic role. But because we can't see mental health challenges, we don't treat it as important. And so if you want the community to be able to rally around each other, let us remove the stigma. Let us remove the stigma of mental health. Let us remove the stigma by educating people. Let us remove the stigma by opening up access to mental health treatment throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Let us remove the stigma by saying to people, just like you take medication for your heart, your liver, your lungs, your toe, your eye, you can take medication for your mind as well. We take medication for everything. So it's really start with removing the stigma. And you and I can remove the stigma right now by acknowledging that mental health is real.
Yes.
And because it is real, it requires real treatment. And once we are able to do that, we can then see the movement in our children and our family. I am saying, if we make mental health accessible in a way that is just like, because if I were to ask everybody in the studio right now, where and what is your primary care physician? You will tell me, well, let's go by Dr. So-and-so, he operating in so-and-so. If I ask everybody in the studio right now, where do you go for mental health treatment? Some may tell me they go to a bar. Some may tell me they just go and run ball. Some may tell me I don't know what you're talking about. So until we are able to make mental health on the same level as physical health, our children and our families will continue to suffer. Let us normalize it. Let us put it in our schools. Let us put signs all over in government buildings, division buildings, so that people could interact with the information and understand the signs and the symptoms, so that people don't have to suffer in silence.
Well, there's another situation that is very present in our society, and that's where, you see somebody going through some hard times, or, they say that, okay, well, this person made bad decisions in their life, so that's why they are where they are now, and then they let that mentality, that idea, prevent those people from getting that help, or prevent the act of sympathy and empathy towards those persons. How do we go ahead, move ahead, and getting over that, and instead of looking at whatever bad decisions might have led to a person or a family being in the position that they are, that we can instead try to help them, try to guide them along, because life is not easy.
Because we are caught up too much in the past, and what you did and what you didn't do and what you should have done. That is irrelevant. It is irrelevant to the fact that we are dealing with it now. We are here now. And as a clinician, as a traumatologist, I am a future focused kind of guy. So my kind of work is what I called brief solution, because I want a solution. I am not a Freudian type of guy where you lie down on the couch and tell me when you was 1 and when you was 2 and when you was 3. We have a situation now and we need to treat with it now. You need to be able to work now. You need to be able to go to school now. You need to be able to deal with your situations now, you see.
Yes.
And so all the past, while it is important historically, it will not and should not be used to move forward in terms of stopping or giving help. And so people need to say this was the past. Yes, you did nonsense. Yes, it wasn't what was supposed to happen. However, we are here now. What can we do now to give you the help right now? So, you know, people always talk about short, medium, and long term.
Yes.
I now have also included immediate, short, medium, and long term. So I no longer use short, medium, and long term. I use immediate. Because when somebody come into me, when they come into the Center for Human Development, they want help now.
Right.
They don't want help down the road. We need to stabilize the situation now so that they can then create a plan for medium, short, and long term. And so we can't harp on the past. And I want to encourage people. You can't hold it to the past and say, you know, well, I helped you before and I'm not going to help you. No, because probably at that time, I was not in a position to receive the help. I was not in a position to acknowledge the help. I was not even in a position to know that I did need help. And so now I am saying to you, I want help. And all I want you to say to me is, I want help and I'm ready.
And then that also kind of speaks, I mean, I know we're going off a little bit from the child depression thing, but it also speaks to when it comes to domestic abuse situations where you have people remaining in certain relationships, and even though that they hear the message, it takes a while for it to sink in, and which is why we ourselves, we as, you know, family, friends, neighbors, need to keep reaching out, because you never know when that person would be able to be ready to make that step. And then we need to be there for them when they make that step.
I agree. And I mean, my stance on domestic violence is different to a lot of people. I tell people, you can't come and live by me, so I'm not going to tell you to leave your situation.
Right.
I tell you to understand your situation. I help you to prepare your mind for a change. And once you feel as if you are ready to move, then we move. I often say to people, reach out, but in domestic violence situation, reaching out is difficult.
Yes.
You see, because I tell people this, and people always call me and cuss me after when I say it. I really don't care about the black eye or the bruise. I really don't care about the broken ribs. You know why? That will heal. The real abuse happened in the earlies when they told you that you will never amount to anything. You will never achieve anything. The mental and emotional and psychological abuse is, to me, the greatest one. Because long after the bruise and the black eye and the lash ended, you're still in a situation because your mind has not moved from abuse. Your mind has now been put in a place where you think that that is who you are, that is what you should expect. So my work with people who experiencing domestic violence is always about changing the mind, because that is where the real abuse happens. And until you help them to change their mind and to see the possibilities of a life outside of this abuse, they will remain in that situation. And I'm also very cognizant that not everybody who want to move or leave can leave
Yes.
to go where? Our shelters still
and I
don't
think
accommodate.
We understand that, and we don't have that conversation enough. Is that, you know, it's not easy. It's like, yes,
It's
where
not.
do they go? They don't have the money.
Or we have shelters, but you can't carry a boy child.
No.
So you have 2 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. Why are you supposed to lead the boy outside the gate? You don't have money because the abuse started when he took your ID card, your passport. You can't open no bank account to save no money secretly, right? They isolate you from all your friends, so you have no support system. Where you going to leave to go? And that is why I'm saying the mind, to me, is where the real work has to happen in order to break domestic violence. I tell people, I don't like to always go and talk about this because it's the same rhetoric over and over and over, because we're not understanding. In order to change the domestic violence tapestry, we have to begin to change the mind. We also have to begin to understand men who are most times the perpetrator, although it happens both ways. But we also have to help men to understand what it means for the word no. You understand? And that has to happen from boy. Because we put boys in a man box and we say, this is who you will become. And then when they become who we told them they should become, we vex now. So it requires re-socialization of our boys by the very parents, girl, woman, most times, who socialize them that way. And so there's a whole dynamic that must change in order to sustain a renewed change. I mean, I remember I told the then Attorney General, Al-Rawi, that you can't legislate for emotions. You could put $2 million bail and 5,000 years in jail. Once my emotional state has been broken and I see no reality, I will kill. And I tell people that so no matter what you put in legislation, it will not stop domestic violence. It is not a deterrent. Once my mind is made up, once I feel as if I am emotionally wounded, I go in full force, regardless of 2,000 years or $2 million bail. That is irrelevant and inconsequential to a person who has an emotional break.
And of course, as you said, that these things start a lot of times as a child, and which is why we're having this discussion today to talk about child depression and that sort of thing, because when that depression and those mental challenges go unchecked, they grow into adults.
Correct.
Very broken adults. And then we have these situations playing out in the public, and it's shocking.
Candace, we have so many children walking around in adult numbers. We so much broken adults because their childhood was marred with abuse, sexual, physical, and everything else. And now as an adult, they have to live this. And most people say, I put that behind me, and I want to know, well, what does that mean to put behind me? There's nothing called put behind me. Because you have 15 different relationships, you can't hold a marriage, you're not trusting of nobody, you're vexed with the world, but you put it behind you. No, you are living the trauma that you went through as a child. That is what's going on here. And so that trauma has now been passed on to your children. So you treat your children in a particular manner based on your own trauma lens. There's nothing called putting it behind you. And so we have to begin to treat with our children urgently. It's a crisis. We have to begin to help them to understand. And the other thing is, and I say this to all people, we are very traditionalists and we believe that marriage is supposed to be until thy kingdom come and all kind of thing. But if this relationship is hurting your children, I don't understand. I stay for the children. No, what you are staying for is to teach your boys what to do and teach your girls what to accept. Because exactly what you are displaying in a broken marriage, in a toxic relationship, is what your children will live. And we have to understand, we have to move away from these old ideological, religious type of belief that pin people into abusive situation. I see nowhere God tell people to beat people. We have to understand that people, our children, need help. We must understand that we must help them at all costs.
Is a child too young to be faced with depression?
Of course not. Of course not. The challenge is what it looks like at the different age groups.
Right.
So early childhood, you will find depression as a child may be now regressing in behavior. Right? So they may now no longer want to sleep in the dark. You may find them being very clingy and dealing with a lot of separation anxiety when parents leave. You may find them moving back to regressive sucking of thumb, encopresis and enuresis, that means wetting yourself or choosing yourself, that kind of thing. That is in the early stages. You also have a lot of tantrums in that period. When you talk about late childhood, early adolescent, you're talking about children are now becoming more withdrawn, right? They are more to themselves. Children, role is to play. If your child not playing, something wrong. Full stop. If your child 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 not playing, something is wrong. Because the only role of a child is to play. Right? So once you realize that your child is always in a corner, no longer playing a video game, no longer interested in playing with other children, something is going on that requires interrogation, right? But we just leave it, he quiet, he always quiet in the corner, don't worry what he, no, something is wrong. And so for your late childhood and early adolescent, those are some of the things you're looking for. In adolescent or later adolescent, you're looking for more aggressive behavior, more withdrawal. And so they may turn to some level of substances because by that age you would have been introduced through the wider world of weed and drink and stuff. So you may find that young person moving towards that. Boys may move more to aggressive, overt behavior. Girls may move to more inward, introverted type of behavior. So they may be more depressed. Their moods may change more. They may have more self-harming, right? The boys may not have a lot of self-harming, but they may have risky behaviors. You see, those are the things that you need to look out for. So depression attacks the entire lifespan. The question is, can you recognize the category and which age bracket you are living in, so that now will help you understand what that child is going through, when it is going through, and what you might be able to put in place to deal with it.
And then when it comes to, at least teaching, because you might be in a situation as a parent and maybe you don't know how to address that situation, and maybe that mental health, that systemic mental health assistance is not there. What about, how do we go about teaching or putting our children in areas where they can deal with their mental health? Because like I said, we had earlier on the program, we had an artist, someone who grew up, and he spoke about how, that relaxes him and that helps him to deal with, whatever he's going through in life. So how do we then, how do we know what things to introduce our children to help them in perhaps, letting out their emotions,
well, I like
in a healthy way?
I like how you said what we could help children, because you see a lot of our parents tell the child you're going and play piano.
Right.
Tell the child you're going and play football. Anybody want to go in a hot sun? Right? But you telling your child you had to do this, rather than a discussion. A big part of therapy and the therapeutic intervention spans so many different things. And you touched on one, art. Art therapy is a major expressive thing that we do a lot with young people who have experienced severe trauma and they are not able to verbalize their trauma, so it happens through art. Music is also a very good therapeutic modality. So through music, through dance, people express themselves. And so the expression of self is in and of itself a wonderful tool that we can use. And so that now ties to what we call the sparks in our young people. And I tell people every time I have a young person, the very thing that will help me to help that young person is the very thing that they are passionate about. But we don't tap into the passions. We don't tap into the strengths and the sparks of our children. And if we are able to tap into that as a parent or guardian, you will recognize that that is the very thing that will help them. However, because we are punitive, the very thing that the child uses to save themselves are the things we're going to use to take away when something happens. Give me the paintbrush, or you're not going to play no basketball, or give me the music. Once you have identified that this is what the child needs to cope with a mental health challenge or cope with stressor, that should not be used as any form of punitive intervention. You understand?
Yes.
If art is what the child used to calm down, then we can't say when the child acts up, we're going to take away art. And all of that kind of comes through education, of course, to help them to understand. Because I tell people one thing, you see me for an hour in a session, but you have the rest of the week to do all of these things.
Yes.
And so this is where the work comes in to really help our children who are dealing with depression and anxiety.
And how can a parent point out these passions? Because, sometimes you hear parents talking and you're like, you're still trying to feel out the child, trying to figure them out, because, they haven't been able to express themselves that way yet.
Talk to the child. Talk to the child. Talk to the child and find out what it is they like. And you know what? What they like Monday may change to Tuesday. What they like Wednesday may change on Thursday. But the important thing is you be supportive until they find that niche, to find that thing that they love. We have to allow children to be. I find that we have taken away childhood from children. Right? Children are growing up way too fast now. So, I don't know if you know, the research now is saying and shown that they, for the first time in over 25 years, they have moved the age bracket trajectories. Right? Because a 5-year-old now is operating as an 8-year-old. An 8-year-old is now operating at an 11-year-old. Then you coming out the womb talking about phone and password. You 4 years old, you could put in password on a phone and go on YouTube for yourself now. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I didn't know about
that. Did not know about that either.
Right? So our children are now exposed to what I call 100% real-time world. The only thing I knew about the international world was in the Thursday Guardian international page or pen pal, right? Now you can talk to anybody in the world, anywhere, right now.
Yes.
And so our children are no longer going outside and bruising their knees. Nobody are battle scars no more, right? Summertime, you're supposed to be having two busto a bruised knee because of football. but children are doing that.
Yes.
Children is inside on a computer or on a phone. And while we are part, and that is part of the tapestry, we have to learn to manage it. You see, and once we begin to do that, you find that childhood comes back, giving children enjoyable things. Man, children don't even know some fruit that we have in Trinidad. They know not much snake and ladder and ludo and them kind of thing. We need to bring back childhood in a real way so that they can enjoy this and grow up the way they're supposed to. Too many of our children are suffering every single day. And it's time for us to take that back.
And on that note, this is how we're going to wrap up our conversation. I want to thank you, Mr. Benjamin. It's always a pleasure to have you on. And we are going to continue having these conversations, viewers, because it is important and more people need to cue into all of these problems that we face in our society that we don't necessarily know about. So thank you, Mr. Benjamin, and we'll be back. You'll be back with us. So, all right, viewers, we'll have to take a break right now, but we'll be right back after this.
Tell us about your organization, institution, when established, organizational structure. What are your organization's cause, mission, objectives? Please provide us with your organization's website, email, or social media handle. Does your organization have a bank account with a financial institution in Tobago? If so, please provide us the name of the financial institution. What is your role within the organization? How do we contact you? In 100 words or less, please tell us a bit about your organization's good work and why a donation from team might help. If your organization is selected to receive a donation from team, how will the funds be utilized? How will the community or constituency served by your organization benefit from a team donation? How would the donation from team be publicly acknowledged or advertised?
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susseland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we're stronger.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, and of course we are continuing our conversations this morning. And leading up, Carnival is just 2 months away, but we have so much happening in the Tobago space. It is unbelievable. And then, you know, we have a lot more things to come out. But one of the things that we're going to be talking about today is monkey business. And we're going to be talking with none other than Mr. Ronnie McIntosh. Of course, you all know him. He doesn't need no real introduction. Special good morning to you, Mr. McIntosh.
Morning, Candice. How are you?
I am good. And then we also have Mr. Sean Anthony, and he is also the band leader of Monkey Business.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm great. So you guys had your band launch on Saturday at Jade Monkey.
Correct.
Yes. So tell me about Monkey Business and that band launch. How was it?
Well, Monkey Business, the band launch it went off with a bang. Really well. Well supported. Execution was on point. And we had the people really finally seeing what we have to offer for the 2022 Tobago Carnival.
And Mr. McIntosh, you're on board with this?
Yeah, definitely. Well, on board. Sean is my good friend, you know, from a long time. So basically, we got involved you know, with the Carnival situation, when they made the announcement, he basically got excited because, of course, you know, I'm involved with Ronnie and Caro, the mass band in Trinidad. So that, like the costume department, you know, he came to me and we, as a matter of fact, we was hanging out somewhere and the rain came down and we didn't come out of the rain, we just kept talking, you know. So yeah, because Monkey Business is the juve, but we also have the what we call the Pretty Mass, which is tribute to blacks.
Yes.
You know,
and I was just about to get into that conversation.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you guys chose a tribute to blacks, and of course we know that earlier this year he unfortunately left us.
Right.
But why are you using the Tobago Carnival to do this tribute to him?
That look blacks friendly. Tell them, get up the story.
Well, a couple of things. I mean, first, Black's father was based in Tobago for a long period of time. Mr. Jerry Stewart. All right, and of course, Black is my personal friend for a number of years. And, you know, going through the motions with his sickness and everything, me and my good friend here was sitting having a cold beverage.
Yes, a cocktail.
Early in the morning. Also,
early morning cocktail.
Early morning cocktail.
Yes.
Cold one, yeah?
Well, some of the best conversations happen over those
those cocktails, yes.
That's right. You know, and it all came up, you know, I feel like I want to do something in the mass, and he said, okay, and we talk about it. And then after, of course, Black's passing came, and we was like, you know, what do you think? The conversation was just going back and forth, and then tribute to Blacks. What do you think? Good idea. His personal friend as well, you know, and my other colleague, personal friend as well, you know. So it just, the timing was just right.
And it just fell together.
Yes.
And so what can we expect for that Pretty Mass exhibition?
But basically what we did was, well, we named the sections, you know, after black songs and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, we launched a couple of months now.
And I think we're seeing some of the designs right there.
So that was designed by Caro, which is of Rodney and Caro. And so we had that launching, you know, a while back, and you know, registrations are really picking up now because of the fact, I must say, I welcome the announcement of the calendar of events, because a lot of people been waiting to find out, you know, what's taking place, when is the juve, what time is the juve, because masqueraders are very funny people. If they realize they're not getting sufficient time on the road, they're not going to participate. So now that we say, okay, Pretty Mass is what, 10 to 6, we say, right, we know we're getting a nice 8 hours. So we can pay, you know what I mean? So the registrations now picking up on both ends, because of course we're doing the production of the costumes in Trinidad, and of course we're also doing registrations in Trinidad. Plus we have the jademonkeymass.com. So the online has picked up over the last couple of days since the announcement. The walk-ins has picked up, and yeah, so we basically ready.
And I mean, okay, so now we're looking at the Carnival weekend, right? We have just on Wednesday, we finally knew what it's going to look like.
Finally.
What are your opinions? Like, how do you feel about it?
One of my concerns has always been, I would not like us to underestimate what is about to take place. I would like us to be excited, because the rest of the world is excited, and we need, there's certain parts of the infrastructure must be in place. I had a conversation with someone on the port, so yes, they're definitely going to add on ceilings. That's a must. I know that
we're all begging for that, even just on a normal basis.
Yeah, well, correct. You know, we could do over 2 more new ferries as well, right?
And some more planes.
You know, but I think they have to. What I'm concerned about too, there are people based in New York, or let's say the US, and they're not interested in going to Piaco. They want to come to Crown Point. So I'm hoping that very soon I see some charter flights, like from Thursday to Monday. Do some charters just Thursday to Monday. Come direct. Bring them straight. Don't prepare them in Piaco to be on standby. They don't want to come standby. They want to come direct. So that's part of the infrastructure. And I need to get some announcements where flights and sailings is concerned, because they come in.
Right. So, Mr. Sean, so we know that Monkey Business is just one of the Tobago bands that's collaborating with Trinidad stakeholders in order to bring people here. So, I mean, I don't know if you've had conversation with other band leaders like yourself, as to, you know, how were we going about to I don't know what we need to do, shout, protest, I don't know what we need to do to Cal and these people to make sure that there are those planes and those ferries available to bring people down to Tobago.
I think more so, yes, of course, I spoke to other band leaders also. The concern is information, and information from the committee. from the THA, information is not being given swift enough for us to proceed with our businesses, because people spend the money already. I mean, people, meaning the mass band leaders, spend the money in order to produce these costumes and ads and all these other stuff. And I think they're not getting that information. I think, and again, finally on Wednesday, some was given out. Yes. But still, you go to this site, information is not there. So we want the proper information to be out there, so where the persons on the outer world would get the relevant information needed, so they can proceed with, I mean, what we are looking forward to, because it is going to be grand. But we are behind. We know that we are way behind. But I think if we have information coming out slowly, not stagnant, but coming out slowly, I think we could live with that. Yes. And the mass bands, my conversation was same as what you said. People need to know what's happening. People on the outer world. Flights from Toronto directly to Tobago, from Europe to Tobago, from US to Tobago, and free up the space for Trinidadians to come across. Right? I think that's what we really need right now, because it's not like trying to be where we are, I taking 2 days off, yes, and come down. Outside the world is, I need to know 3, 4, 5 months in advance, so I can tell my boss, my mother, my father died for it twice. They died for Carnival for Tobago, and Carnival for Trinidad. So people need to know way in advance. And we need the foreigners here too. Yes. We need it. I said also again, and I said candidly, that we should be selling packages. The week prior is blue food. So somebody comes to Tobago for the Tobago experience, meaning they mostly come for 10 days or 14 days. So you come to Tobago the Thursday before, you're taking a blue food, you're taking a Jade Monkey, boat ride rupee on the 22nd, right? Well, your blue food, well your blue food, yes, right? And then you come down the road and you go to other events, then you hit a duck walk, Jade Monkey, Friday morning before the Carnival. So only Jade Monkey event to happen. But it seems so, I find it's only Jade Monkey on your calendar then. Obviously. So what is, all right, but people need to get information as they go along. Yes. Planning. We have Carnival junkies around the world. They go to every Carnival you can think about.
And then to be able to go to every Carnival, they have to know what's happening.
Basically, the pandemic was a sort of blessing, because that work from home situation now, you could be on vacation and work from home, and your boss doesn't have to know where you are. That's your laptop, so you can really come now to Tobago. Yeah, make sure you have your wardrobe.
And then underneath you have your Carnival costume.
Right. You understand? Your mask, you have one of your mask boots and your shirt and tie. But really actually Carnival is planning. I can tell you from experience, we're dealing with masqueraders. Carnival is planning. They plan, like, okay, let's say Trinidad Carnival next February. They book already. They book. They register for their costume already. They have their accommodation already. They don't play. These Carnival people, it's a very serious thing to them. They don't go nowhere during the course of the year. They go to work and they go home. When Carnival reach, leave them alone, because that's their thing.
Well, we know we didn't have that much time to prepare for this year's Carnival, but do you think that when we look ahead to preparing for 2023's Tobago Carnival, because hopefully it would continue to happen in October, right, so sort of end off that whole Carnival season throughout the region. Now, do you think that the committee would be able to use all these experiences to sort of put things in place so that we can have that bigger event and we can really have that buy-in from the international market?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time, and so there will be little tweaking here. Yes. I understand, and I know that it's new and it's cool. I have no major issues with that. Yes, I know we also say about information and slow, understandable, but just make sure you have a place for people to stay. Make sure you get them here safely and send them back. After October, just start planning one time. Don't waste no time, because it's not a 2 days for today for tomorrow. Carnival is not that, So they will experience it. They will be surprised. I think Tobago will be surprised as to what it does for the economy, because it's all about, it's a business. Carnival is a business. So bottom line, we'll be thinking about, yes, the THA is spending money, but we also have to think of ways and means to make money, whether it's accommodation, whether it's selling food, whether it's selling drinks, whether it's selling corn soup. Get involved and be part of it and be excited. And after that, the committee will go back to the drawing board. And I think in 3 years' time, you see, and the nice part is Trinidad will be the first and Miami and Tobago will be the last, as they talk about the carnival seasons. Yes. So Miami is always boastful that we're the last carnival. They're not anymore. They're not.
I like that. So
they're not. It's Trinidad, Tobago, and that's it. Right. Go wherever you want in between, but make sure you come to Trinidad and make sure you close off Tobago. That's it.
All right,
Miami nothing, as we say. Miami nothing.
So, and then we're looking forward for this year's Carnival. I mean, and I want you to talk a little bit about the pretty mass as aspect of it. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, but I want you to get into a little bit more details in terms of the sections and that sort of thing, and what we can look forward to as a contribution from Ronnie and Carol.
Yeah, but no, we basically try to be very economical first to begin, because it's the first year and it's one day. Masqueraders also, they come that money thing. It's not 2 days, it's one. But we try to use, of course, bright colors, and I said it's not that heavy and it's not that serious, and there's no major storyline. It's just make sure you give people good customer service, and most important, and of course properly well-designed costumes, and make sure that when they take it out of the box, nothing is falling off. Masqueraders are very funny. They're very fussy with the thing when they pay their money. So we make sure and use bright colors. Of course, one of the sections that I think you'll be talking to Dana Lee soon, her section is the blue one called Breathless. She basically, he said, she's very close to blacks, and she was specific, females are like that. She was specific in what colors she wanted. Sean and myself just left everything up to Caro, and, yeah, so good costumes, good quality costumes, and of course, customer service.
Yes.
Wristband. Carnival has transformed into a wristband. There's no thing about Noah's and the Ark, and nothing to Google. No Googling. Just make sure you give me my good customer service for my money, because and then the pandemic, we woke up a lot of people too.
Yes.
So don't feel that people just gonna be running back out. Oh God, so long we ain't play mass and they just run back out. No, we're not gonna take advantage of them, because a lot of people thinking that because 2 years people gonna just run back out. No, they're very thoughtful about the spending the money now based on that pandemic. It taught a lot of people lessons.
All right, so I mean, we're not done with this conversation yet, but of course we are continuing to talk about Jade Monkey and that monkey business collaboration, of course, with Ronnie and Caro, and it's just an exciting collaboration because, of course, you guys are one of the icons when it comes to mass in Trinidad. So we're definitely looking forward for that. But the conversation, like I said, the conversation is not over. Just want to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard, I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning.
Right, and
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, and we are continuing our conversation with Monkey Business. So we had that band launch this weekend on Saturday with Jade Monkey Bar, and of course, joining us on set we have Miss Dana Lee George, and she is the section leader for Breathless in the Pretty Mass. But we are going to be talking about that Juve launch that we had on Saturday, because of course we have to touch on it, because Monkey Business is not just going to be doing Pretty Mass, we're going to be doing Juve as well. So I don't know which one of you want to start off on that conversation about the Juve launch that we had on Saturday and why it would stand out from the rest.
Well, let me just mention that Monkey Business is the Juve band, and a tribute to blacks is the Pretty Mass section. So we kind of brought them up. So as you can see there on the screen, that is part of the Juve band. This is one of the sections in the band. Hongs and Vixens, right? Hongs and Vixens under the Monkey Business section, and this is one of the sections, one out of two of the sections.
And what inspired it?
What inspired him? I mean, this is our second year at having Monkey Business Juve. We did it in 2019. Right, it was the actual, it was the first time. So of course, conversations again, you know, with people and staff and Dina Lee, Ronnie and myself. You know, let's continue the Juve trend, and of course that's what we certainly did.
And I want to bring Miss Dana Lee into the conversation. I mean, and talk about your contribution towards developing this. And we're going to get into the Pretty Mass in just a little bit, but tell me about your involvement in developing the costumes and the themes and that sort of thing for this year.
Monkey Business was a brand that we do not want to lose, or we do not want to fall short. What we did is use our initiative and step up the game a little bit by allowing two sections. You would normally have one section, but we have a lot of competitors, and therefore we have a lot of persons who are willing to have two different brands involved. What we did, we gave, because we are Trinidad and Tobago, we use our initiative as we were powered by two persons, Contribuki, and also Sean mentioned before,
Hongs and Vixens.
Yeah. And when we sat at the table, everybody had great ideas. So we just took everybody's idea and merged it into one, so that we can have a larger experience for the people. Because as you know, this is Tobago's first carnival. We try not to fall short, and we want to bring the best forward for the people. We wanted to give them options. So we have two options for them, and we'll make sure that they get great service, they are comfortable with the material that they are wearing. You know, now everybody is Juve. It's not like years ago when you were just put on a little short pants and a tank top and move. Everybody wants to look pretty. Everybody wants to feel good with what they are wearing. So we step it up a little bit and make sure that the people will have great choices.
All right, and then moving on now to the Pretty Mass side of things, because your section is Breathless.
Yes, it is.
So tell me a little bit about that, and your inspiration and your drive for that section.
My inspiration came from God. Breathless was founded from my business, my husband and I. We at Happy Place, we are a team. We work together hand in hand going forward. The colors came from the business itself. That's our business colors. And we are past masqueraders. As a masquerader, we wanted to always take part in Carnival in a bigger way, because it's a very passionate moment for us. That is our culture. We take pride in doing things the best way in which we can. Breathless, I must say Breathless would be our new founded baby. As to stepping up the notch, not just having the restaurant and bar, but we look forward in every year taking part in Pretty Mass and also the Juve experience of Tobago Carnival.
Yes. All right, and I mean, as we're getting ready to wrap up, I want to give Mr. Anthony perhaps the last word. And you just tell me a little bit about, that collaboration with Ronnie and Caro, and, just bringing together that as well as Tobago's talents and that essence of Tobago to make these quality costumes.
Well, first it's more than one collaboration. It's of course Happy Place, which is a restaurant that we also have Country Boogie, and we also have Hungs and Vixens. Ronnie and I, that is about 4-part series, right? We can't. That goes on for about four months.
But tell me about how it enhances the product that you guys are offering in October.
Right. I mean, again, because yes, people talk about Tobago Carnival and it's slow and that kind of stuff, but I mean, they bring it here. We decided that, and I'm quite sure most bandits feel the same way also, where you bring in people who have the experience to enhance your product, and I think that goes against the board with all the other mass bands and them. People came in to assist in lifting their brand and their product, and we are no different. I mean, I had him basically at my side right through, and it made it easier for me, right? And I just think that, now is the time. The time has come where we need to get out of the water, basically. Let us lift the standard across the board in Tobago and bring people on board. Bring people on board for infrastructure, bring people on board for the THA to help us lift this brand, because as Ronnie said earlier on, Trinidad first, Tobago second, I won't say last, second, to put the icing on the cake, and then again you go again soon again. So I think the time is now. We are ready. The people are ready. It's just a matter of time for us to just hit the ground running and get this carnival, the first one,
off with a good bang.
Out with a bang, yes.
Right. And now, I mean, just quickly, how can people get in touch with you to be a part of the band? Okay, so we have a website, jademonkeymask.com. Again, it's www.jademonkeymask.com. If you're in Trinidad, the contact number in Trinidad is 740-6722. We also have Happy Place, Denley's phone number, which is
763-7576. We also have a 710-4366. Or if you are close by, you can just walk in. Our bar is always open and we are always waiting and ready for you. So you can just come in and get registered.
And we also have 266-6626. Again, 266-6626.
All right, folks, so you have a number of ways to get in touch with the Monkey Business Band and get involved for what is going to be a really good show for Carnival in October. I mean, we certainly are looking forward to it. It's going to be a grand time. I want to thank you all for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ronnie McIntosh, for gracing our studios. And we have so much to look forward to, and I guess we're going to have more conversations leading up to the event.
Yes,
as things start to get rolling, and Jade Monkey, as he stated earlier, there's several events, so it's not just the Juve, it's not just the Pretty Mask. So get linked with Monkey Business and Jade Monkey and Happy Place. Get linked with them, get your tickets and whatnot, and be prepared for what's going to be a grand time in October. All right, viewers, that's all we have for the program today. Of course, and then I just want to reach out, let you all know that, of course, we at Tobago Updates, we are our own media entity. We are not associated with any other media houses on the island or in Trinidad. We are our own. So just keep that in mind. And don't be afraid to bring your advertising dollars to us and to support a very good product, a Tobago-grown product, and as we continue to bring to you things like this. All right, viewers, so, and of course, let me mention that if you didn't catch the band launch on Saturday, it's on the Tobago Updates page. So if you are interested in some of the things that came out of that, go on, catch with that. And of course, that's why we need your support. So continue to be with us. And I want to thank you, viewers, for viewing. And we'll see you again tomorrow, bright and early at 7 a.m. All right.
Yeah. passion start to rise. The energy fill the sky.